Hey, Lightworkers, do you know that you are an expression of the divine and you came to this planet with a sense of purpose? I know you feel this deeply within you because we're not here just to survive. We are here to make our lives a game worth playing. But depending on the conditions of our life, this can feel hard. But we have a very wise teacher who gave us a very simple guideline to make our lives a game worth playing, even when life feels hard. And that teacher was Mr. Fred Rogers. He said, the greatest gift you ever give is your honest self. And of course, he's speaking of our authentic self, who and what we were designed to be. So here, right now, I want to talk about our two selves. And these two selves, they have a lot of names depending on your spiritual community or your personal growth community. But here at Unity, we start off teaching about our two selves in Sunday school. And we call them the little me and the great me. Now, as adults, we often talk about this in terms of authenticity. So we're being our authentic self when we're being our best self, right? Except that means that at some point when we're not being our authentic self, we're being our inauthentic self, right? Inauthentic self. And our inauthentic self is simply a series of programs and beliefs and perceptions that keep us small. And they can feel 100% true. And these programs and these things that we tell ourselves that keep us small can feel like, well, life is unfair. I'm not smart enough. I have to be a people pleaser. There's no way I can do this. Where with our authentic self, we might say that, well, my authentic self, it's who I want to be. So it can feel like we're striving for something, or we need to get better. We have to fix something. We're working on ourselves. But moving into our authentic self, it might feel like it's somewhere we've got to go. Like, I got to get there. I got to get there. And then sometimes what happens, even when we are expressing our authentic self, it still feels fake. Still feels fake. There's a quote that I learned years ago, and I can't find any reference for it on the internet, but it says our lives are governed by the truth, whether we believe it or not. Okay, you can think about the truth of gravity, right? You are under the law of gravity, whether you believe in it or not. However, our experience of life is governed by our beliefs, whether they are true or not. Now, we can talk ourselves into believing in the inauthentic version of ourselves, even when it's not true. Even when it's not true, and we will believe it. And so I do like Mr. Rogers' term of our honest self. Our honest self being who we truly are versus the dishonest self. Because when we think of dishonesty, we think of lies. So when there's our honest self versus the lies we tell ourselves, using those terms, we get more clarity. We get more clarity. So with our dishonest self, we are buying into the lies. Mr. Rogers also gave this very important direction. You can never go down the drain. You can never go down the drain. Do you know how many little kids, very young children, watch the bathtub drain and they actually worry that they can go down the drain? They feel it as if it's true. They feel the truth of that. And it's not true. It's a big lie. Right? It's a big lie. You can't go down the drain. You can't. It's against the law of physics, for one thing, right? You can never go down the drain, no matter how someone tries to convince you. So our dishonest self lives with these lies like, life happens to me. I have no power here. Or life is unfair. I'm too old. I don't have enough money. I am not smart enough. Here's my favorite one. Other people can do it, but I can't manage it. I can't manage it. And these lies, they all eat away our sense of self-worth. And when people don't feel worthy, they're believing in the lie of separation, that God is way out there somewhere, distant, doesn't think about us, we're all on our own. We're no longer an infinite being in a body. We are just a physical body. We're just our body and all the restrictions, limitations that come with this body. And then we are our circumstances, all the conditions in our life. Our successes and failures now define us. Now, if we have a great success, we feel really good about ourselves, but then we have to keep chasing success. And then we often face failure, and our failures define us. Now, right? Our sense of worth will come from conditions, and we're always going to be seeking something that will make us feel better about ourselves. We will always be seeking something to make us feel better about ourselves. Now, it's only when we discover what is working within us, what is working through us, for us, as us, that we move into wholeness, and we discover then our whole reason for being. We move out of the lies and into our honest self. And our honest self, of course, we can express ourselves. There are many paths to our honest self. But here at Unity, you could say we live by our spiritual principles. And we live by the first principle is God is all things. And if God is all things, that leads to our second principle. And that means me, because nothing's left out of this equation. And then our third principle, so I create my experiences through my way of thinking and acting. If God is all things, and that means me, I can choose to show up to my life through faith. I listen and act in faith, as opposed to choosing to show up in fear, thinking life is unfair, right? If we live by the principles, God is all things, and that means me, and I'm creating my experiences through my way of thinking and acting, so I listen and act in faith, this changes everything. And we will recognize the lies that are all from faulty programming. This is the version of ourself that calls forth great light. We live and walk in faith no matter what. This version of ourself calls forth greater good, because our greater self is now working through us, for us, as us, and this is the version of ourself that can be a catalyst for change, because our honest self, our divine self, is capable of things we can't imagine when we feel small and helpless, right? When we're living in the lie. This is why the greatest gift that we can ever bring is our honest self. The greatest gift we ever bring is our divine self. Now, as our honest self, we know who we are, we know what we are, and we know the gifts that we bring. Right? So we know who we are, okay? I know who I am. And you confirm this silently while I say this. I know who I am. God is all things. I am an expression of the God source. I am an individuated soul. I am. So I know who I am. I know what I am. I am a demonstrator of that. I am a demonstrator of that. I listen and act in faith because I create my experiences through my way of acting. And I know the gifts I bring. And this is how I serve. And the gifts that we all bring, well, we don't need special training. We don't have to get a degree or certificates or special attunements. We all can already do this. And that is the gifts that we bring are that we stand in the truth. Okay, I stand in the truth. God is all things. That means me. That means you. Okay, keep affirming this silently with me. So I stand in the truth. Okay, this is the first gift I bring. I demonstrate the truth. I demonstrate the truth. I show it can be done. And I witness the truth. We witness the truth of others, even when they're different from we, even when they're different from us, even when they eat, vote, pray, parent differently than we do, even if we don't agree with them, even if we don't like them. Okay, we witness the truth for them. We witness the truth that the divine is also within them. Other people are not always ready to change. I know once upon a time, I would have people share with me this over and over again. But they're like, well, Deanna, you just need to remember you're an expression of God. But in my heart, I was like, I don't feel it. I don't get it. Well, you should just do this and you'll be fine. You know, I had people like really wanting to change me. But we're ready to change when we're ready to change. When we are not ready to change, what we need is a witness, not a fixer. Okay, so I stand in my truth, I demonstrate the truth, and I witness the truth for others. Because as we witness the truth of others, we see the divine spark within them. We're respecting the activity of God at work in them. We don't know what their path is. We don't know how the divine is working through them right now. So we respect the God in them. When we witness the truth for others, we can say, all right, I never deny the God force in someone else just because I don't like them. I never deny the God force in someone else just because I don't like them. I remember for them that there's a divine spark within them. I see the divine within them. I stand in the truth. I demonstrate the truth. I witness the truth. This is what I bring. This is what you bring. And as we are all living in the truth of our honest self, we bring much more. When you live in the truth of your honest self, you discover your personal purpose for being on this planet right now, which is to share the things that are very important to you. The greatest gift we'll ever give is our honest self. So here's our affirmation. I'll say it and then let's say it together 3 times. I stand in the truth. I demonstrate the truth. I witness the truth. I stand in the truth. I demonstrate the truth. I witness the truth. I stand in the truth. I demonstrate the truth. I witness the truth. One more time. I stand in the truth. I demonstrate the truth. I witness the truth. When we can see God in all things, we call forth the activity of God in all things. All things become potential divine activity, and that divine activity might interact with us or might interact with our prayers, who we're praying for. Everything becomes the potential for divine activity. This is divine solutions. This is synchronicities. The universe loves working through us to call forth greater things. The universe loves working through you to call forth greater things. The universe is conspiring for you. It already wants to create more good than you can imagine through you and into your life. You are the means for that good to make its way into the world. So, here is our invitation for this week. We can just ask ourselves at any point this question: am I living the lie? Am I living the lie? Or am I living my honest self? See, for me, when I am living the lie, I'll feel defensive. If anybody says something that's like different from my belief, I feel like I got to jump in and defend my belief, like my life depends on it, which our brains do believe that. That's why it's easy to get defensive. I'll feel judgmental, and judgmental contains those elements of blaming and complaining. So it's not going to feel good. When we are living in the lie, it's not going to feel good. We'll recognize that. We'll feel that. If we're living in the lie, the simplest way to align, what I feel is the simplest way to align, is just to remember God is all things, and that means me. God is all things, and that means me. And I'm creating my experiences through my way of thinking and acting. Winston Churchill said something I thought was very cool. He said, "You create your own universe as you go along." Our own universe is the package of our life. Our little universe is our territory. It is our area of influence. So when we show up to our area of influence as our honest self, in that moment, we are carrying the most light that we can possibly carry, and we are bringing the greatest gifts that we can possibly bring. And that is how we are creating heaven on earth. So until next time, remember, you are divinely designed to be doing all of this. You are a one-time, one-of-a-kind cosmic event. In everything you do, you are blessed. And so it is.